Hey everybody, this is D Hunter, bringing another action figure review. Today, we're going to look at the McFarlane Batman Classic TV Series 1966 Adam West TV show King Tut. I'm really excited for this figure, as King Tut is a brand new Batman villain, never been released before in 6 and 7 inch scale, and that's the kind of thing I'm into, brand new Bat characters I don't make figures for. I ordered this figure from a CMD store. It's a Canadian website. They have them in stock, both at CMD store and Figurine for All. So let's check out the packaging. As you can see at the top, DC, McFarlane Toys, ages 12 plus, Batman, Classic TV Series. And here's King Tut in the package. This time he has accessories instead of the action bubbles. He has a cane, a little whip type thing. And here he is, big fat fair looking dude. On the back side, here's King Tut, and here's his barcode in case that helps anybody. So with no further ado, let's open him up. And yes, I did get the entire way from that website. King Tut and Batman from the TV show, and Two-Face from the 66 comic. Alright, now look at this figure out of the package. Here he is with all of his accessories laid out. He comes with a little whip thing, and then a Pharaoh's cane. But before we take a look at those, let's talk about and check out the actual figure. So this is King Tut. His real name is William Omaha McElroy. He's played by Victor Bueno. King Tut was originally a highly regarded professor of Egyptology at Yale University. One day when he was at work, there was a student protest, and he got hit by a rock in the head. When he woke up, he thought he was a pharaoh, and his goal was to take over Gotham, which he thought was Thebes. Another crazy villain from the 1966 show. He was incorporated into the comics at one point, had quite a different look. I love these lesser known, obscure Batman rogues. King Tut is right up my alley, and he's a brand new action figure, never released before in 6 and 7 inch scale. Great addition to the Batman Rogues Gallery, great addition to the Batman collection. So let's take a look. Starting with his face here, he's got the Pharaoh's sort of towel over his head. You can see his face, a little bit of brown on the cheeks. Got a little crown up top, jewelry all over him, necklace, cloth soft goods cape. Moved aside, revealing this fat Pharaoh. I love it. Suit does have some nice texturing on it. More elaborate decorations. Does look like we have single jointed elbows. No knees whatsoever. Articulation looks to be quite poor on this guy's legs, but, you know, gotta incorporate his sort of pharaoh skirt type thing. Overall, I think the figure's awesome. Love adding these crazy Batman villains to the collection, and just a closer look at his face and head sculpt. I like it a lot. King Tut is definitely my favorite of this wave, although I like Two-Face quite a bit as well. Now let's look at his accessories. And they're kind of on the crappy side of things, but I'm still really happy he came with them. Little red piece here, looks like a little bit of a whip. Then we have the Pharaoh's cane here. Both quite basic. Here's King Tut holding his little whip accessory. The Pharaoh pushing his people like a Hebrew slave. Then holding his cane, doesn't quite reach the ground. And here's King Tut, holding both of his weapons or accessories at the same time. Now that we've taken a pretty good look at both the figure and his accessories, now let's check out his height. From bottom to the top of his head, staying at about 6.1 inches tall, which can translate to about 15.5 centimeters. And now for his articulation. Starting with his head here, of course, it can rotate from side to side. Looking at his shoulder here, on a ball joint, goes about 90 degrees. Up, down, around, all that good stuff. Elbow, single jointed, goes in about 90 degrees with rotation. His wrist rotates. His torso is one solid piece. He's got a waist swivel, but you don't get too much out of it here. Legs, once again, one solid piece. His legs are kind of sticking out from his robe, and there's simple rotation on the other side. Here's King Tut in his base. He has the whole base designed to look like ancient Egypt, to fill out his fantasies. This guy's crazy ever since he got hit in the head. And here's King Tut in the villain's lair with the rest of the 66 villains. Hope they expand on the roster. Now let's check them out. Next to some other action figures. Starting off with some other McFarlane 1966 Batman Classic TV Series figures. Here he is with the rest of this wave. We have Two-Face, King Tut, and a radioactive Batman. Funny thing is, Two-Face wasn't even in the show. This Two-Face is made from the 66 comic series. I think it's really cool. Expand on the universe. And here he is, next to the previous wave. Black and White Robin, Egghead, and Black and White Riddler. I was just as excited, in fact, more excited for Egghead than I was for King Tut. But both these guys are fantastic additions to the collection. Then, next to the previous wave before that, Mr. Freeze, and the Black and White Batman and Joker. Here's King Tut, next to the retro Lunchbox 4-pack. And before that, they released Alfred as Batman. Here are all the villains McFarlane's made from the 1966 Batman line. We have Mr. Freeze, Two-Face, Egghead, King Tut, Joker, Riddler, Penguin, and Catwoman. A really nice, wide variety of villains. Huge, colorful assortment. I love it. I hope they do Bookworm, and then Killer Moth next from the TV show. And there's a ton of stuff they can make from the comic as well. Here he is, next to McFarlane's 1966 Batman and Robin. Then, next to Mattel's version of the Batman and Robin and Batgirl. Here's the entire McFarlane 1966 Batman TV series line. We have a ton of figures, ton of characters, and even more variants. Really liking the line, really liking the new additions to the roster. Can't wait to see what's next. I believe the next wave is going to be a comic Batgirl and a new variant of Batman and Robin. Really wondering what's coming up next after that, though. Personally, I would love to see Bookworm and Killer Moth from the TV show. Here's King Tut, next to a custom Egghead and Bookworm that my wife made for me over 10 years ago. I really like the obscure Batman villains. I always wanted to have Egghead, King Tut, and Bookworm, but never got to make a custom King Tut. For the longest time, I used this Mattel DC Universe Classics Golden Pharaoh as a stand-in for a modern version of King Tut. Until one day, I stumbled upon this Mattel Wrestling Create a Superstar, I believe Gold Dust. Perfect modern King Tut, and a couple of pharaohs. Here's an image of King Tut from some of the modern comics. Those villains weren't too far off. Obviously, King Tut is an Egyptian-themed action figure. Here he is, next to some mummy figures. These are all by NECA. The regular version, black and white version, and the glow-in-the-dark version. Then, next to a Diamond Select mummy. And here, next to a NECA, Michelangelo as the Mummy Universal Monsters Turtles crossover figure. Now let's check him out, next to some action figures from different various companies, to see how he fits in both scale and style-wise, in case you want to know which lines you can mix him with. Since he's a McFarlane 1966 Batman Retro TV series figure, they're on the smaller end of what I collect, 6-inch scale. I'm going to start off my comparisons with some of the smaller action figure lines I collect, and work way taller. Here he is, next to some Jazzwares Fortnite figures. And here he is, next to some SH Figure Arts action figures. Here's King Tut, next to a container of disinfecting wipes. Then, with some Hasbro Marvel Legends. And here he is, next to some Mafex figures. Then, next to some Mattel DC Universe Classics and Multiverse figures. And here he is, next to some Mezco 112 collective figures. And now, with some Jazzwares AEW wrestlers. Then, with some Mattel wrestling figures. And here he is, standing with some NECA figures. Then, with some DC Direct and DC Collectibles figures. And here he is, next to some McFarlane toys. Then, with some DST or Diamond Select toys. And finally, next to some Jack-specific wrestling figures. Overall, this is a really cool figure. Sculpt and paint job are excellent, no issues there. I love the cloth soft goods cape. His articulation, frankly, kind of sucks. The waist swivel's weak, the legs, not very well executed. His accessories, they're crappy, but those are his signature weapons. I am enjoying the hell out of this guy, though. Really happy to add King Tut to the collection. If I were to rate this guy, I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. Honestly, I'm probably overscoring the figure. The figure itself has a lot of flaws, but I'm so happy to add this guy, and he looks fantastic. Just wish he was 7-inch scale. So this is D Hunter. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you liked the video, press like below. If you have anything you want to say with the video, add to the comment section. If you want to see additional action figure reviews from me, press subscribe. I do appreciate when you do that. Once again, this is D Hunter. Thank you guys for watching this video, and I will talk to you guys real soon.